All right, here we are. Impact and Influence Radio right here on Opera. And today's broadcast is brought to you by Blinds of Sacramento, Sacramento's complete solution window covering experts. Give them a call, 916-790-8689 or blindsofsacramento.com. Now today, I've got a lovely lady in here that does a referral from our good old Boone and Sabrina. And, of course, if you're not familiar, go to the website and take a look. But they're also writing and they're a very big part of the magazine now. Boone's doing photos for us, and, I mean, it's awesome.
They're amazing.
Oh, my God, dude. They're so hungry. They are so ready. I love it. I just love what they're doing. So we have Kris Walker. She's going to be teaching us about hair today. Business is called All Day Slay, and we're going to be figuring out what that means. So, how are you doing, my dear?
Oh, I'm doing great.
You're here.
I'm excited.
You made it.
Yes.
And you did make it out to one of our cocktails with the CEOs, which is really cool. Unfortunately, you didn't get to see me play because of the parade. But that's okay.
Now I have the anticipation.
Now you have
just
to,
waiting.
Yes. It means I got to go out there and dedicate a song. I got to do something really, sexy or something. So corny. All right. So who is Kris Walker?
So I am an innovator. I am a creator. I'm artistic. I'm just a go-getter type of personality. And I've always been that way. I've always wanted to do more in life, and I've always wanted to do things for myself.
Were you always artistic?
All the time. I started off as an artist. I would start scribbling, and then that turned into sketching. That turned into painting Prismacolors. Then I ended up getting one of my first jobs at Macy's, working at Macy's at Mac, and it just kind of went from there.
Mm-hmm. And so with your artistic, do you find that you're a creator? Do you like creating things? Are you always creating?
Absolutely. You're creating images. You're creating thoughts that are in your brain and putting it on canvas or putting it in hair.
So you see things that don't exist.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Isn't that a weird thing?
No, it's just, it's unbelievable to see how you can bring the images from your brain into life.
Yeah,
That's where I'm at.
Do you have this thing where you're walking and you look up and you'll see the sky or something and you go, this is just a really perfect snapshot. Like I could take a picture of this right now and it would just be wonderful.
Absolutely. I have an addiction to photos.
Yeah, some people don't see that.
Yeah, no, it's all the time. If you look at my phone, I have over 100,000 photos because it's like, hey, this is the sky this way. This is my daughter this way.
Did you look into my phone when we met the other day?
No.
I have nothing in my phone.
What?
I don't keep pictures. I don't keep apps. I keep nothing in my phone. If I can go back to a brick, I would.
Oh my goodness.
I'm seriously. My phone looks like Obama's phone. You know that joke where he couldn't have anything in his phone because he was the president? That's it. That's all the pictures I have in my phone.
Oh man.
That's it.
You'll be impressed to see mine.
Well, I look at it like anything that I need to have ends up going in the magazine. And so if I ever need it, I just go, it's an archive. I have it for the magazine. Everything else, it doesn't really... I've got some photos from past businesses and so forth, but I've slowly been incorporating all of my old stories into the magazine. And so that's kind of capturing, because we're getting away from social media. Social media is starting to just kind of teeter off, but this is ours.
Well, that's why they say, in life, everything is ever changing.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Whether it's on the computer, whether it's on TV, or whether we're putting it in magazines, you're going to see that innovation change over the years.
And we want to keep, basically, if you look at what ChatGPT says, that we're building, what we've built is like Disney, right? And so we've got our film, we have our music, we have the print, we have all of the different dimensions. And so, as long as I can keep everything alive inside that ecosystem, we're good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what is it that you do? Obviously, education of hair, but talk to me. I mean, where are we at here?
Well, currently I am an educator for cosmetology and barbering at Paul Mitchell, the School of Sacramento. But I also have my own space inside of a salon. Me and my actual old teacher, we created a business, and I work in the business with her. And I have my own business, and she has her own, but we're working in the same building and just creating images.
Is this where Blossom's spot is?
Absolutely, yeah.
Not Blossom, Sabrina?
Yeah, absolutely. So she actually used to be one of my students, and she came in and blew me away with her personality. And I said, you know what? We need to be around people like this and create, images for people that they didn't think they can see in themselves.
Yeah.
So I just teach education and making sure that people know that, we're able to get them to what they want to look like, and we're able to create these images. You just have to know the why and the how.
You know that they got engaged, right?
Yeah. I know. I put it in the air, you guys.
Did they tell you the day that I met them?
No, they didn't.
Oh, they don't know that you didn't know that story?
No, I don't know the backstory.
So I was like, so you guys, how long you been here in California? Oh yeah, we just moved here, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, nice. Married? No. And she looks at him, and I walked up to him and I was like, really, bro? You haven't? He's like, no, I'm working on it. I'm like, did you propose? No, I'm working on it. What the hell are you waiting for, dude? You put an onion ring, bro. Figure it out, dude.
I told them, I said, you know what? I'm giving you to the end of the year. It's the ultimatum. And while I was on vacation, I saw that it happened. I put it in the air.
Apparently it happened before our event. They did it in the parking lot.
Yep. They screenshotted me the picture. I was so excited for them.
They walk in and she goes, I have something to show you. And she shows me and I was like, oh my God, that's awesome. All right, don't tell me any of the details. I want to embarrass you at our next event. So
well, don't worry, you'll be the one playing at the wedding.
Did they say that?
No, I'm putting that in the air.
You're
as well.
putting that in the air. That's awesome. You know I'm totally in too.
I'm down.
You know I'm totally in. Why are you so passionate about this space? Obviously, you're an artist. You've been in this a long time. I see your nails. You are not messing around.
You know, it's so funny because my parents both had 9-to-5 jobs, but outside of that 9-to-5 job, they would do hair. So I would be in the barbershop with my dad, just kind of on the weekends recreationally. Mm-hmm. And then my mom, she worked in, computer information systems. And then after work, she would be doing hair. And I'm like, wow, that's just really creative. Like, mm-hmm. How did you get these images? How are you able to do these things? And my dad was like an old school barber where it was like people were wearing that Gumby look where it's like asymmetrical. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh my God, how are we getting these shapes out of these hairstyles? Like, how do we do this? And it just drew me into the business. Mm-hmm. And so when I got old enough to understand how to do it, I would, practice on my little cousins and probably jack them up before I could figure out the actual technique. And I'm like, why is this not working? Why is it working for them? It's not working for me. Mm-hmm. And so I just got drawn into the education. Like, hey, this is how you do this. This is why this does this. If your hair is frizzy, oh my God, you can use the love of science and do something that's acidic and it brings that frizz down. Mm-hmm. And I just got drawn into it. And like for me in school, I was sort of a nerd. I loved science. I loved math. And I'm like, how could I incorporate this into my everyday life? And I didn't know that, just loving hair, makeup, nails, all the things, it's using chemistry and math.
I think it's so funny that the things that we loved when we were kids go into our adult life. But I do sit down with business owners. I've got this absolutely, I adore this woman. I absolutely adore her. I haven't seen her in a while. She's a local notary. And, she's like, I really want to take my business to the next level. So, well, what do you do? I'm a notary, blah, blah, blah. So how's it doing? She goes, yeah. And I was like, what do you want to do? She goes, I don't know. I said, what's something that you've been passionate about since you were a kid? I don't know. And I'm like, you got to figure that out. We all have something in us that we loved when we were kids.
Absolutely.
And you just do that. And for me, it was audio and cars. And so I just do that. Guitars, rock and roll. And I just do that. And I figured out how to make a living out of it.
Yeah, I even had one of my daughter's friends, she was in the first grade. And she was like, hey, you know what? I just want to shave one side of my head. And on that side of the head, I want a flower. I want it to be this. I want it to be that. And I'm like, I drew it in my head. Mm-hmm. I saw the picture that she came in. And we just drew a flower in her hair. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, oh my God, we are able to put this artistry into canvases that are on your head. This is exciting.
And it's neat because, in 3 weeks or 4 weeks, you can start over again.
Absolutely.
I know.
Absolutely.
I know. It's so cool. What's your story? So, you tell me about your parents and everything, but really, what was your journey when you said, you know what, I'm going to do this full time? Because if I remember correctly, you were in the phone game for a while.
Absolutely. So this is so funny. Like I said, I was always a nerd for information, always trying to figure out, how computers work, how technology work. And so that's what I was drawn to. So after I worked at Macy's, I got an offer to work at Sprint, which usually, converted into another company, into T-Mobile. And then I ended up getting a package deal to work at Verizon. And that's where it really brought my eyes to like, wow, I like to serve people. I like to help people. But I made a lot of money in that business, but it wasn't my passion. It was something I was good at, right? Yeah. And so I took a tour one time and I looked at Paul Mitchell. It was across the street from Verizon. And literally I see it every day when I go on my lunch break, and I'm like, why does it keep sticking out to me?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And one day I just booked an appointment. I said, I'm going to take a tour, and it just clicked like, hey, I don't have to do a 9 to 5. I can actually do a 9 to 5 for me personally and do something that I actually love. And after I did that tour, I literally put in my 2 weeks, and I said, hey, I'm going to do this full-fledged. And I went back into school. I learned all the techniques. I learned the why. I got passionate about that. And I was like, you know what? I want to teach other people how to do this. I want to show people how they can style their hair and get these same results. Or if they can't style it, who they can go to.
They can make a career out of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then, you know, I say this almost in every episode. You know, God gives us these talents, these natural born talents. Where do they come from? You know, how am I the guitar player that I am without any like formal education or schooling? It makes zero sense. It's just talent. How am I able to build radio shows? How am I able to produce movies? How am I able to write books? How am I able to build infrastructure in business without any formal education? That's just talents. And so God gives you talents. Yeah. And he gives you these talents because when you're no longer here, you've contributed something to the good of humanity, whether that's educating, whether that's providing value, services, livelihood, whatever it is. And then now it's the next person's turn. And what they do with it, that's between them and God. But that's why God gives you what he gives you, he or she or it, whatever, right? Yeah. And so, yeah.
I'm glad that you said that. So, you know, being that you're in this industry, you're always wanting to share your talents, share your knowledge. And I've done that actually with my kids as well. I have 4 daughters and a son. And even my youngest at 6 knows how to braid, knows how to twist hair. And they're doing this with their dolls. And that translated to actually them doing it on their friends. And they've even gotten paid services doing this. So like my 6-year-old was able to, you know, twist her friend's hair and twist her sister's hair. And I'm like, 1, that helps me out because that's less hair that I have to do. Yeah. But 2, now they're making slight businesses in the summer. It's almost like that lemonade stand. Like they're showing that.
Well, yes, that's exactly. Did you ever read Rich Dad, Poor Dad?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and he talks about the nickels made of plaster of Paris, and he was, you know, literally creating counterfeit money, but his brain was saying, okay, well, I need to make money, so why don't I just make money? Right. It's a funny story, but it's so true in so many regards. I remember I was, I have a couple of fun my first businesses, but I remember I would make little wallets and toy guns out of cardboard and paint them black or gold and sell them to the kids on the playground for, you know, $1 or whatever. And then my first idea of business, it was in 8th grade, and back to magazine, I would take my dad's Playboy magazines, and I knew that we could get a magazine for like $4. And then at the time, I don't even know how much. I mean, we sell ours for $16, so obviously inflation. But you can get a magazine for $4, and I could take the pictures and cut the pictures out and sell the pictures to the kids at school for $1 a piece.
Oh, geez.
Right? You know, that's how 8th graders think, right? Because we didn't have internet back then.
Right? No, absolutely.
But the point is that I knew immediately that I could turn profit, and my brain was already going to that space where my investment would be $4. I could make $25.
Absolutely.
In 8th grade, how old's an 8th grader? 11, 12,
about
13?
12 to 13.
Yeah. So my brain, that's where, and then in between high school, middle school and high school, I remember I was in summer school and I'm in this high school transformation class. And I said, you know what? I'm going to build a skateboard business. All the kids at school need skateboards and they need all the skateboard stuff. If I built a mail order skateboard business, now see, I didn't understand profit and loss, but I knew that if I bought stuff and I could sell stuff at a profit and I knew I could provide value or solve a need, I would have a business. And I said, you know, I'm going to build American Skateboard Supply. I remember this, you know, I'm in summer school between 8th and 9th grade. In my brain, again, you're talking to 12, 13-year-old, your brain is thinking on the immaturity of that. American Skateboard Supply, what's the acronym? ASS. ASS. It's a 12-year-old, right? But my brain, you know, I was like stuck in this, like, I'm an immature 12-year-old, but I am a business-minded 12-year-old. So I'm thinking I could build something big and beautiful like American Skateboard Supply, but we're going to call it ASS, right?
And it would be catchy.
It would be catchy, right? And the kids at school. But my problem was I would just be buying this stuff out of a catalog and then turning around and selling it. Why wouldn't they just buy it out of the same catalog?
Absolutely.
Right. But again,
it makes sense.
Yeah, but as a 12-year-old, you know, But that's where it starts.
Yeah.
And so your kids are already starting to think about enterprise. They could be billionaires before you know it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the industry that I started off with, because I started off as a braider, you don't have to be licensed to braid. You have to be licensed to wash hair. So me showing my kids that you are able to start braiding and doing that for your friends and your family and stuff and make profit. Imagine how much more profit you can do if you go through the schooling, learn the why, get the license, and then now you're able to wash hair, learn the scalp and all of that.
So what is your why?
My why is just serving people. Like, I don't get paid a lot to educate, but I get paid more from the results and from the referrals. So, me being a teacher at Paul Mitchell, I'm sitting there and I'm educating from 9 to 5, but the profit isn't in me being at Paul Mitchell. The profit is in me getting prospects by showing them what they can do, how they can make it outside of the school, and then being able to network together. That's how I got, Monique.
Doesn't it? I used to be one of these. I've got to have the Ferrari and the house in Beverly Hills and all the things. You aspire to have all these things, and then after you experience a little bit of success, and you go, I'm just going to buy stupid crap. It doesn't even make sense. You get back to your why and doing things for different reasons. And I could sit here and not make any money doing radio shows for free for people. I could easily charge, but I don't need to. And I could make more money, but I'm giving people a voice. Yeah. And usually people in this space, they fizzle out because they're not making any money, or they're doing it to chase money. But when you have an actual purpose, there's a completely different reason for you to sit in the chair and to actually do it.
Yeah, and just to be with like-minded people. I mean, again, Monique was one of the students that I had, and from day one, we were able to click on a mindset because I knew that she was hungry. She wanted to know the why.
They're amazing. Wait till you see the article next
Absolutely, yeah. She wanted to do more, and then what she did was she was like, hey, you know what, Miss Kris, can I come to your salon and see what you do on the weekends and see how you're getting, the profit that you're getting and how you're changing lives? And she did that for like 3 months, and when she graduated, I said, come aboard. These are the type of people I want to surround myself with. You want to surround yourself with like-minded people.
But look at what they're doing. Yeah. They're getting involved in this magazine. The people that were we had, I met Blossom from Arden Creek Laser and Aesthetics at the California Black Chamber. And I don't remember what the circumstances were. I don't even remember the original introduction. I don't. But I do remember that we got her scheduled on the show. And it was maybe a month later she became a member, and there was a lot of skepticism. She didn't know whether or not it was going to make sense for her to spend the money. She took the leap of faith, and then now we're hosting the events at our monthly events at her space, which is bringing a lot of business to her. And we're bringing 30 people every single month into her space to see, and she does a full presentation, and she's getting people into her space, and they're spending money. And then, but apart from that, now she's being introduced to this whole other world, which is that we all aspire to be the rich people, the successful people. And I've been in the Ferrari industry for a very long time. But now I'm able to introduce people to this space and introduce them to people that essentially change lives. Yeah. You're not when you're in the Ferrari business. There's a difference between the Ferrari business and the Porsche business. When you're in the Porsche business, you're meeting the people who, in a sense, are like a realtor. Okay. Yeah. When you're in the Ferrari industry, you're meeting the people that own the whole damn entire real estate company with 5,000 employees. It's a completely different playing field. Right. So her being laser and aesthetics, if we took her to a Porsche event, she would just meet other estheticians. We take her to a Ferrari event, she meets the people that own the machines that she's buying for her. Absolutely. You see what I'm saying? It's a completely different playing field. We're there last night, and this guy, he's wearing a Patek Philippe Nautilus. Are you familiar with the Patek Philippe Nautilus? Correct. And so I said, you see that guy's watch right there? She's like, yeah, it's like $95,000. She's like, what? $95,000. Seriously? It's like, yeah. We go to the Ferrari dealer. I introduce her to all my people at Ferrari. We go to the Ferrari dealer. She's like, I like this one. I like this one. Oh, it's beautiful. She goes, how much is this one? He goes, $8 million.
Yeah, it's a whole nother world.
$8 million freaking dollars for that car.
Whole nother world.
Joelle's like, I like that one. How much is that one? $3.5 million. It's like, Jesus Christ. Give me one for like 130 and then we'll talk about it.
Right. With payments.
With payments, 10-year payments.
Right.
Yeah, insane. What types of clients are you looking for?
So I'm looking for everyone. So I think that's what separates my business.
You have hair.
Yeah, if you have hair, or if you don't, we have units that we can put on for you.
Hey, Joelle, guess what? You don't have any hair, buddy. We could give you hair. We can make you look like Rudy if you want.
Absolutely. If you're coming in like Homer Simpson, you can come out with a fade. It's fine.
So yesterday, we go to the Ferrari dealer. He takes pictures of us, and I was like, dude, we should go into AI and put my hair on you and give me the no hair. I was like, dude, it would be cool to see what it would look like.
And we can do that too with wig caps.
And then we get to the Ferrari thing, and this guy walks up that looks just like him, but with hair. And I was like, look, that's the guy.
It could be you. Absolutely
so
right.
funny.
Right.
Oh
So that's
my
what I'm
God.
saying. We don't want to discriminate old, young, any demographic. We want to make sure that we're helping you out.
I love it. Kris Walker, All Day Slay, Christina's, Kristina Walker.glossgenius.com, 510-426-0616. 510-426-0616. I want to thank you so much for being here.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. And I want to thank you guys so much for listening. And anything you want to add before we get out of here?
I want everyone to know that your passion can be your reality. I got into this industry 20 years after I was working a 9-to-5, and now I am flourishing. So it doesn't matter the time. When you make the decision to move forward, that's when your reality.
You do it, yeah. Do what you want to do. Don't do what somebody else wants you to do.
Absolutely.
510-426-0616. Thank you for being here. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks.